I'd like to call to order the the special board meeting for Zumwalt School District. If you could stand, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. Roll call, Ms. Green.
Craig?
Here.
Erica?
Here.
Gabriel?
Here.
John?
Present.
Mike?
Here.
Tom?
Here.
The records will show that Tommy George is absent.
It's an unexcused absence.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I need a motion to adopt the agenda that you have before you this evening.
I move for approval as presented.
Powers, second. Callahan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Mr. Meddy, are we on? Are we good?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Dr. DeBray, if you would then discuss the reason that we're here tonight.
I would be happy to. The COVID numbers that we've been watching so carefully have consistently been coming down and moving in the right direction for the last several weeks. And I wanted to report to you this evening what those numbers are, and let you know how good the picture is right now for us. In the Fort Zumwalt School District today, we have a 0.003, that's 0.03% of our students that have positive cases of COVID. That's 58 students out of 17,359. Of those 58 students, only 4 have a school-connected case of a positive case. The rest are all not school-connected. We have 116 students today that are quarantined. Of those 116, only 36 are school-connected. All of our schools today are less than 2%, and most of them well below 2%. So those numbers for our school district have gotten better and better in the last 4 weeks. In St. Charles County, today we have a positive test rate of 8.62%. In the Fort Zumwalt School Districts, it's 7.7%. That's based on the zip codes that our school district serves. Our reproductive number in the county is less than 1, which is where you want it to be. It's 0.92. And our confirmed cases, deaths, and quarantined persons have all gone down over the last 7 days. So those numbers are very positive to a school district looking to make a change. Our school board believes that they justify making a change. And for the last 2 weeks or so, our board president and vice president have been working diligently on what they thought would be a good plan to come back to our public with and for our students. So that's what I'm going to present to them this evening. It's a result of some serious work on the part of the leadership of the board, and I think they've done really, really good work, and I'm really proud of them. So the plan is this. I'm going to read from the plan that we have. This is a revised plan for addressing COVID-19 in the school district, and it will be implemented following the end of the day on October 15th. That's Friday. The plan will call for mask optional. In addition, a modified quarantine will be employed for those students wearing a mask when exposed to a positive individual during the school day. Any unmasked student exposed to a COVID positive individual at school will not qualify for the modified quarantine and will be expected to quarantine according to the guidelines set forth by the St. Charles County the Department of Public Health. The modified quarantine will allow a student to attend school wearing a mask and monitoring for COVID-19 symptoms for 14 days. The quarantine period can be reduced to 7 days by obtaining a negative COVID test from an authorized healthcare provider after the 5th day of the quarantine with no symptoms. It will not allow a student to participate in extracurricular activities, including MISHA, sports, and other sanctioned activities. In this plan, parents, guardians will be allowed to volunteer their time in their own child's classroom, with numbers to be determined, for various activities, including parties. Parents or guardians will be required to complete a district wellness check, including a temperature check at school when they arrive to visit or volunteer. Parents from the building will also be allowed to schedule a private lunch with their child using seating separated from other students at lunch. Number of parents will be limited to no more than 5 at any given lunch session, so that adequate seating can be provided away from the rest of the student body. It is the overall goal of this plan to limit transmission of the virus while allowing as many students to be in school as possible and still protecting our entire community. This can be accomplished with the tiered levels of mitigation strategies that are the core of this plan. The following special conditions will be in effect. If a single classroom, pre-K through grade 5, shows an increase in COVID cases of 3 students or more over 14 consecutive calendar days, those classroom students and staff will be masked for a period of 14 consecutive calendar days following the most recent positive case. No outside visitors will be allowed to visit at lunch or volunteer in that classroom until the positive cases subside. Number 2, based on a school's enrollment, at a 2% positivity rate, the school will add further mitigation strategies until the positivity rate falls below 2% for 14 consecutive calendar days. The mitigation strategies to be included are: students and staffs will wear masks while outside a classroom in the building. Also, additional lunch periods might be required to offer greater social distancing. Also, classroom activities should take advantage of outdoor facilities as often as possible. No masks will be required for activities conducted outdoors. There will be no outside visitors allowed in the building until the positivity rate falls below 2% for 14 consecutive calendar days. And finally, based on the school's enrollment at a 4% positivity rate, the school will continue mitigation strategies outlined in number 2. In addition, masking will be required for all students and staff at all times in the building until the positivity rating fall below 2% for 14 consecutive calendar days. In the preparation of this plan, the Board of Education consulted with Sarah Evers, Acting Director, and Samantha Van Natta, Acting Assistant Director for the St. Charles County Department of Public Health, and other local experts in pediatric infectious diseases who helped determine the thresholds incorporated in the tiered plan outlined above. The board will continue to actively talk with these specialists moving forward. That's the plan. I think it is the best of both worlds. It gets mask optional, but it also puts some mitigation strategies in place that if things become concerning, we're gonna go to those strategies to get things back in order. I think we have a good plan for you that you put together.
Thank you, Dr. DeBray. Is there a recommendation with this?
Yes.
The recommendation is to accept the plan. I
Yeah.
need a motion.
I move for approval.
Ms. Powers, motion,
Yeah.
second. Mr. Callahan? All right, any discussion then at this point? If motion's on the table to approve this plan? Mr.
One question.
Mr. Moore?
So if the county decides to amend their quarantine standards, while this plan is in effect, will there be an automatic adoption of those plans, or will we have to reconvene the vote?
I mean, I believe that we would bring it back to you.
Really, the crux of this is to have some buoy, some buoy action, so that as things go up and down, we're able to allow administration to move, duck and weave, or whatever they call that, so that we're not coming back to us every 30 days to make changes. But if the health department does interact something that's less restrictive or even more restrictive at this point, whatever the county's saying, we're gonna have to take a look at it.
I will be bringing you back updates, like I always do at the school board meetings, so that you can at least kind of get a sense of what's going on. Those are just, and those, I believe, will become pretty minimal as we go forward, because I think we have a great plan.
Any other comments?
Just one comment. I think this plan protects to the maximum possible our children, our professional staff, and also extends the potential for protection to people outside of this community in various households, play circles. That's why I will support it.
Okay. If there are no other questions or comments, roll call, please.
Craig,
Yes.
Erica,
Yes.
Gabriel,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes?
Tom.
Yes. Motion carries 6-0 vote. All very good, very good.
Yes.
Board. Before we adjourn, I have just a few thoughts that I'd like to share. And first, I want to say how very thankful I am for this Board of Education. For those of you who show up every time there's an important decision to be made and willing to climb into the trenches, and for always truly wanting to do what's right for the kids even when the decision is unpopular. I'm very thankful for Erica Powers and her eagerness to sit down with me to help come up with this plan that incorporates medical facts, science, and common sense, and for the desire of this board to be unified and stalwart as we go forward through this school year. It's very important, and I wanted to thank you personally and publicly. Also, second, it's important to note that COVID has changed our lives and our way of life now and likely for years to come. As we navigate through this virus, there will be more likely many changes ahead. One of the notable comments that resounded to me when talking to the doctors was that we're all in a learning mode when it comes to COVID. And as educators, that should excite us. As parents and students, we should be ready to accept that challenge. It's my hope that we learn a lot and learn it fast so that we can change the direction from COVID and its mitigation strategies and requirements as soon as possible. Next, it's imperative that everyone remember that this new plan that the board just adopted is only going to be effective if everyone joins together in ensuring that we as a school district and a community stay healthy. That means if you're sick, don't come to school, don't come to work. You know if you're sick, make sure you're well. Keep your germs to yourself. That's one thing we don't want to share. You wouldn't come to school if you had strep throat or the flu. If you think you have COVID, it doesn't need to be a stigma. Stay home. Use that same reasoning and common sense you would if you don't feel well or if you have a fever, okay? And finally, the first quarter of this school year has been utterly ridiculous. It's been embarrassing, and literally it's been ugly. People of the district have been name-calling board members and other parents. There have been teachers disparaging students while mocking their parents. People have literally stalked persons on this board, intimidating them by stealing and posting pictures of their families on Facebook. And I have to say, I am incredibly disappointed with our community. Regardless of how you feel of a certain action this board takes, we as adults shouldn't stoop so low to resort to bullying. I want to be very clear that the plan approved tonight was made from medical guidance, not from intimidation or bullying. The threats and hate did and does nothing and has no bearing on the decisions we make while guiding this district. My personal thoughts of last month's board meeting were of disappointment and frustration, as I'm sure it was for many of you. The difference is I reached out respectfully to my opposing members and tried to compromise. After tonight's decision, there's gonna be many more that will again be unhappy or disappointed by this decision. Just know there is absolutely no room for bullying in the Fort Zumwalt School District. Our kids are watching us. What we model is what they learn. We have to be better than this going forward. Thank you very much. And with that, I need a motion to adjourn. Powers, second. Helms, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.